So me and my squad were twerking hard at Brad's foam party last night. I mean, real talk, it was bubbles on bubbles on bubbles.
Awkward. So, hello everyone, it's CreamBRabbit here, and welcome to a Rabbit Rambling live session. This is gonna be like the first time we're doing, actually I think I might want to turn off the music now I think about it. This is gonna be like the first time I've ever doing this live, and I won't be using any of the music, I guess. I was thinking of using music, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, this is like interesting because I haven't actually done this in ever. So I asked on Discord any topics that they wanted me to talk about, and they said that they gave me a few topics to run off of. If you guys have anything you want me to talk about, I can talk about it. But for now, we'll just be going on to this thing. I'm gonna try to see if I can spectate a game whilst we are waiting. Or whilst I talk, because it's much easier for me to do that. And you know. It's easier for me to talk over gameplay because then I don't have to really think too much. I have to actually close out League. Close. Open. Oh, there you go, it closed. Just reconnect. Alright, it's working now. Oh, all the colors are like boom. Oh. Awkward. Sorry, Ryo. Feels bad, man. Anyways, so we're going to go into a few topics here. Let me turn on the audio on here because apparently it's not on. There you go. Well, I came in really late, so I don't even know what the hell's happening. Alright, we're watching this Lee Sin. And forget toggle directed camera. We're gonna be watching this Lee Sin, and need my notes here. Alright. So here are the few hi Leaf, hi Mr. Markin and Mario-san, and the Red Baron if you decide to talk. Anyways. So here's the few topics that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Trump's presidency, which is like why people should just calm down and stuff, because it's not like... Because, like, I should agree that we should calm down, let's not be crazy. The next thing is freedom and security. I don't really have too much to talk about this on this one, but, that's something that someone wanted me to talk about. The next thing is agnosticism and atheism, which IMO isn't that bad. Oh, I think they could win off of this if they're... Oh. He needs his Q. Lisa needs his Q. Lisa needs to hit the Q. Nice, he's dead. Good job. Ezreal should have just backed off, to be honest. Oh, Ezreal... Oh, fuck. Ah, fail. He could probably kill him with a WE or a Q. Just go in. Oh, fail. You suck. Anyways. You needed to just hit your Q and then W awaits onto like a minion or a ward, but I don't think you had any more wards, so whatever. Agnosticism and atheism, or versus atheism, which is not really a really big topic, to be honest, because they're literally, they could be the same thing or could not be the same thing. It's up to perspective. Then we'll be talking about original content versus sequels and reboots, which is a really, really interesting topic. I don't really watch movies all that much, but that's a very interesting topic to talk about for those who like creating content and stuff. Because it may or may not pertain to them. If you have any topics you want me to talk about, then feel free to do so. I'm right here, I can talk anytime. Just give me the topic and I'll try and think of something off the top of my head. Because these things I have notes for. And if you guys have any extra topics, then yeah. So first off, it's Trump's presidency. So we know that Trump is going to be our president, unless the recount says otherwise. I really don't care. Let's just assume that right now Trump actually like legit 100% won instead of like 90% won. The 90% is like because like he could lose due to the freaking recount, but that's probably not gonna happen. Look, when it comes to Trump's presidency, it's not that bad. Like, even I don't think it's that bad, and like, it's just although I do see it as an issue that, you know... Oh, Leon's gonna die. It is an issue to many, because, like, they don't want to have someone that's so sexist, that's so, like, anti this person. No, pentakill, nice. They're so anti, like, us, you know? Trump is surprisingly sensitive and thin-skinned? Yeah, he's very not good at, taking, criticism. Apparently. I don't really care, per se, but whatever, people do. Oh, he went offline. There's nobody that I can see! Well, we're just gonna watch some fucking... Whatever. Let's go watch games that I won. Sure, why not? But yeah, like, it's not that bad. Here's something that I can say. America has always been divided, like, in everything. Legit, like, we've always been divided on this subject, like who should be president. That's why we got, like, when Obama became president, people started, like, doing, like, whatever. Like, he just legit... He's not... Obama wasn't a bad president, and we voted for him, and people are saying, like, oh, Obama is, like, the reason why all this shit happened. And it's like, no, you're just being stupid. And, like, I think it's funny because like my mom didn't even like vote this time around. She voted for all other times because she liked Obama, and she would have voted for Bernie Sanders, but nah, that's not happening. Why am I always on the opposite team? I have to actually just click there. Fuck. Alright.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So, yeah, she didn't like any of the candidates except for maybe Bernie, but that's it. She didn't like Hillary, she didn't like Trump, so she didn't vote. Like, she let America decide. If I were to vote, I can only, because I'm a blue state, or my state is a blue state, we always are going to be a blue state. Like, we always opt for creativity and shit. But then, if I voted for anyone else, it wouldn't matter because gerrymandering or whatever. It only helps Hillary for me to vote, and even one vote isn't that great, so I ended up not doing it. And here's the thing, like, we had no idea what his policies were. We legit did not know his policies. As a Democrat, I guess, I feel ashamed that I didn't see the full picture, but apparently, like, Bernie was, like, putting out all the stuff, like, Trump has good ideas, there's no doubt about that, he had good ideas. But the thing is, like, in terms of, like, say, fuck. I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. I just lost my train of thought. Well, whatever. I don't really care what I was just about to say now. But oh yeah, when it comes to like presidency, we can't be putting our president down because like right now it's not, there's no point. Oh, thanks for the host, Red Baron. I really appreciate it. Thanks. We can't keep putting him down. We have to just hope that he does good, you know? Oh, someone's hosting my Pyro! John, thanks for the host. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we can't keep because we're in this boat together, man. We don't want all of us to fail, do we? Like that's how our democracy works. So that was a really nice kill there. So, and here's the thing: if he does a good job, then great. We survived until he's done with his term. Let's not forget we're all in this together. Come on, man. Everything's going good. I'm just doing a rabbit rambling live, so I'm just gonna be talking about stuff. So that was the Trump topic. Why we shouldn't really be like too concerned about it. We have to actually just hope that he does a good job. He does what he promises. At least the good things. We hope that he does only good things for us. But, you know, it's tough. So, yeah, and that's the Trump topic. Now we are going to be talking about freedom and security, or freedom versus security, rather. I believe malls asked for this one. But this is a really tough topic because I'm not sure what it's really referring to. Like, if I were to guess, it's about the internet, but this is kind of like a global thing at the same time. Because, you know, the US is built on freedom to do, like, what, like, we wanted freedom from the terrible laws that were coming upon us due to, like, just the taxes and such. Like, we didn't want to pay those, like, high taxes on, like, bullshit. Yeah, we just have to see how things turn out. So it's like, we could go for freedom, and what we're doing right now is working, but like, at some point, like, we might find it necessary to, like, take away some rights, I guess. I'm not sure. Like, we still want our basic rights, you know? Oh, he took the farm. He even took the kill. That's not cool. There's a difference between... Okay, I'll get onto that topic in whatever time I feel like it, but... So... For the internet, like... There are laws that are like... You can't be doing bad stuff, I guess. God damn, it's really hard to say on the internet side because I tend to believe that we all have a freedom to do whatever the fuck we want. But at the same time, like, it's like a free world because, like, we're all connected to each other. Whether it be from connection between, like, us and China, Sweden to Japan, it's like, it's all that shit. So, like, I don't know. It's up to you to really believe what you want to believe on the internet. It's just whatever. But if you're referring to like a global thing, it's kind of interesting because like it's highly dependent on the actual like size and economy of the nation. Like, say Singapore, for example. Singapore is actually a really good example for like the balance between freedom and security and prospering. Because Singapore is a very prosperous place. Oh, I should click on here so I can get more FPS. It's a very, very prosperous place that like that you can take into like account that it's gonna be good. Like, what I mean to say is there's a lot of laws and restrictions in Singapore, but it's like one of the cleanest cities like I've ever been to. Like, it's crazy. Just like when I was there in Singapore, like they advocated for like going green and shit like that, and it was just amazing to think that we can have a clean society like this. And furthermore, like, there is hardly any corruption. There's like little to no corruption there, which is like amazing. And like they are a socialist country. Let's not forget that they are socialist, and it's not bad. It's not bad. They do socialism right, but like if we try to like if we try to do what they are planning on, like doing socialism, oh, I die here because Fizz. Fizz is really fed because of mid lane, which is unfortunate, but whatever. I didn't have vision in that bush, so I probably shouldn't. Usually I use this as a roundabout. What I should have done is go straight into their jungle. even no matter how dangerous that might be, but we know that Sejuani was... We know that Sejuani was in our lane. I knew that. So, here's the thing. When you know that a certain amount of people are in your lane, you should try not to move to Tribrush. Like, don't move here. Don't go this way. Don't try and roundabout from here to here. It's not safe. Because Sejuani's coming here. Mid lane usually almost always goes, like, through, like, here. Just look at the minimap. Usually, like, when it comes to mid lane, when they try and gank, they will either come through river or here. They almost never come through here because it's too far. So, the better option for diving and going through here, the safest way to go is to go this way. Just look at the minimap. That's the safest way to go. And Fizz didn't even have a vision of me. He just knew I was in this area. So he aimed this way. All I had to do was just move this way. But no, I didn't do that because I was too stupid. I tried to 1v2 them here, and it kinda didn't work. And Rhythm kind of got himself, like, almost killed. Whatever, not important. Yeah, Singapore does socialism right, and, like, the thing is, like, they kinda don't have any, you know, like, any real freedom. Like, you're not allowed to be naked in your own house. That's how serious it is. Because, and, like, it's, I don't know. You can believe what you want to believe. Like, it's up to you, but I see it as, like, having more security in your nation is really good, but it does, there is a point where you have to relinquish your freedom, which is really, really hard for our nation in particular, because because in our nation, oh god, hang on, I gotta actually, like, do a mega cough. I don't like you guys hearing my mega coughs. Alright. So, like, we in America cannot do the same thing. We have to stay capitalist because that's kind of what we do. Like, we can't go into a communist or socialist society and expect to prosper, because that's not how it works. The way communism was supposed to work was that everybody starts out equally, and then, like, all the power goes back to the people, and then they pretty much become capitalists at that point.
If you like the stream, then consider hitting that follow button. It's a $5 value, absolutely free.
Thanks, Lily. Anyways. I opt not to, you know, do any diving in this one because, like, he has full health and, like, he may not have mana, but he could still try and hit me with his skill shots. I opted not to. And so, yeah. And for yeah, I should probably talk a little bit about the internet laws because it's, like, because, like, I don't know, when you go on the internet, there's still free speech and all that shit, but, like, there's also censorship and stuff and all that shit. That's, like, it's all a security thing. Like, you have a bunch of freedom and very little security, so, like, the internet is already a dangerous place for everyone. Because we hope for that freedom. So in the end, like, we are like sitting ducks, kind of. Like, we can have people like hacker groups like Anonymous and so on. Like, they can ruin our day.
Shut down.
That Ringar does not know how to W with her life. But yeah, it's really, really tough to talk about this because, like, I don't know. What do you guys want? Do you want this to be like... Do you want the internet to be like the US or like Singapore? Do you want it to be like... I think like if it's like Singapore, it's gonna be really, really hard due to the fact that there's so much more people than like fucking America, you know? I digress. That's kind of my take on freedom and security. It's not like there's much I can say because it's whatever. The next topic on our list for the Rabbit Ramblings is agnosticism and atheism. I really like that play. Anyways. I don't know what agnosticism and atheism... Like, this is a really weird topic because you're trying to... Okay, I'm gonna probably die here. It's not like the internet is everyone's playground, pretty much, and at that point, like, you subject... This playground, you subject yourself to all the bullies. You subject yourself to all the evil people when you're here. No matter what. That's just how it is. There are rules, but most people, like, many people just decide to ignore it. And then there's, like, the rules of the internet. Like the Rule 34 and shit. But that's a whole different story. That's... I don't need to get into those rules, because, like... There's too many. For agnosticism and atheism, I don't know what you guys want me to really talk about this, but I did take some notes. Like, here's the thing, I don't care about your religious affiliation. Like, you can believe God or the supernatural beings or not. It doesn't really matter to me. I personally believe in God, but you guys, you don't have to try and prove to me which God of yours is important. I'm not here to argue, okay? I'm not here to argue. Like, let's see what's agnosticism and atheism. For agnosticism, you admit you can't prove or disprove the existence of supernatural beings or a god. Like, you can either believe that they are there or not, but for you personally, you cannot prove or disprove the likeliness of or the existence of a god. For atheism, they straight up don't believe it unless you have proof. Or whatever. It's ridiculous. Like, they just straight up don't believe they exist. They believe there is proof that they don't exist, or you need to give proof that they exist. Otherwise, there's no way they're gonna believe there's a god. Like, for me, I don't think this is really a good way to think about it. I think agnosticism is probably better than atheism, because atheism, they just say, oh, I need proof, or oh, you don't have proof, or like, I have proof that they don't exist. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, in terms of like the supernatural beings, we are to assume they are above our normal plane of understanding.
Shut down.
So, like, I would like to take this like Buddhism and say, don't question it, just let it happen. Like, it just makes no sense to believe that they're going to be anything like more, or there's like something like really like crazy with them. Like, you don't need to learn about... You mind if I talk about atheism? Go ahead, I don't really care. Like, you can say what you want about it, it's just fine. I just like science. Yeah, but science doesn't prove or disprove anything in terms of the supernatural. Here's the thing, here's what I look about in science. It's a small box, and you're only looking at that box. For the supernatural and above, it's outside of that box. So it's not easy to prove or disprove it amongst our normal understanding. So that's why I'm not gonna like try and make any more arguments, because that's like there's no point to arguing. You're just gonna make an enemy. Which is why I tend to not want to argue with my friends, because neither of us are going to come to an understanding. And if we don't, I just stop. It's like there's no point to arguing about this. Which is why I don't feel the need to prove anything. Just let me be affiliated with whatever religion I want to. Oh yeah, sure! Let me go onto Discord.
Red team double kill.
So just to like finish off what I was saying, just let me be affiliated the way I am. You can believe whatever you want to believe, just don't try and shit on people that want to believe whatever they want to believe. And when it comes to radical followers, like, they don't speak the mind of all the people affiliated. Don't get confused, okay? That's... there.
That's one thing I wanted to prove about atheism really quick. One thing, hi. Two, this won't be long, I promise.
It's okay, go ahead.
What you point out is, like, yes, the general stereotype of what atheism is, which
That's
is
like,
understandable.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not saying that they would hate on people, like, that's just... and not all of them
No,
want...
I get that.
Yeah.
But granted, in almost every religion is going to be that said stereotype. Like Christianity is supposed to be like, oh, it has to be this way. Catholics, oh, it has to be this way. Buddhists, da-da-da-da-da, all that.
No, Buddhists don't say it has to be that way.
I'm not saying like them in general. I'm just saying like, yeah, there may be that one person that stands out, which makes it sound
the radical
followers,
the radical affiliates. Like that's like it's the people that have the extremist ideas that have the loudest voice. Like, see, Al-Qaeda, for example. They are Islamic, they are Muslims, but that doesn't mean that all Muslims think that that should have been what they did. That they didn't. That's the thing. That's why they have like the stereotypes and such. And that's what I'm trying to.
Which is why people like. Back to the little Trump thing for a quick second on that.
Go ahead.
It's what Trump kind of used for his. Granted, much as I hate admitting, he will have some points we have to find out once he's actually president and get through all this mess. But he used the general extremist whole as these Muslims are bad. Granted, I will admit that he was saying it was this set, but since he's saying all of them, granted, it did worry the Muslim community, like some people that I actually know that are like a little shaky.
Yeah.
But again, it's just that set group. It's just ISIS, it's just Al Qaeda, and that set. They don't represent the entire core. The same way people put like, oh, the KKK represents all of Christianity. Without a doubt, everyone will be like, that is not true. If you're gonna go to that set, why are you gonna say that like ISIS is gonna represent all of Muslims, or people in atheism going like, oh no, you have to prove me every single thing. That's not the entire core.
No, of course not. I'm just trying to make like like, I didn't know an easy way to say it. Like,
No, anything involving religion is
it's like
difficult to
it's
say
hard
hands
for
down.
me to make like a generalization of who they are. Like, I can't, like, the definition is that they don't believe in God. They don't believe in the supernatural, right?
For the most part.
Yes.
For me
And then-
personally, it's this. I personally just don't require to believe in anything.
Yeah, that's
Granted,
kind of
will
what I
let
was thinking
everyone do their own thing. If you're a Catholic, go right ahead. If you're a Satanist, go right ahead. Some of the Muslim faith, Buddhist, doesn't matter. As long as you're not shoving it down everyone's fucking throat.
That's what
Like
I'm
some
that's what I'm trying to
Christians
get.
do.
That's what I'm trying to get at when I say they need proof, because like the people who want to bring them into like Christianity and stuff, they need the proof for them. That's what I feel like is what I tried to say. I didn't know how to put it in words really, but they don't want to have it be shoved down their throats. They don't want it to have these extreme people be
Basic
so extreme.
example again would be like the West Baptist Church.
Yes, the Westboro
Crazy
Baptist.
those crazy motherfuckers legitly just want to shove everything down your throat and that's it. And obviously everyone who is part of that, the same faith as them, is just gonna be all like, that's not them. Granted, I have friends who are super religious, some to like, I go to church, but for me, if you do your thing, that's all set. It's just people who are shoving it down your throat is when I will step in. I don't care what it is, if it's atheism, Christianity, Buddhist, or anything. That's where I will start proving points on how fucking stupid and wrong you are. Let
Yeah.
everyone be as they may. Everyone wants their faith. Everyone wants something to believe in to bring meaning, if you will, to their existence. But just let them be as they may, do as they do, and that's all you need to do, and just accept it. Respect what they want to do, respect what they believe in, and everything accustomed to that. Don't be an asshole. I say Christian because for me it's the easiest thing to get to because I see it mostly kind of where I live. It's always the super crazy Christians that'd be like, no. Like when the stupid election was going on, it was just, yeah, I can't wait for all you Muslims to go back to your war-torn country and join ICE and try to get your revenge. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. If you want to go to that radicalism, then I don't even think that's a word, but if you want to be that freaking crazy, I will just involve you with the KKK and the West Baptist Church, and guaranteed you're not even reading or read anything about the Bible. Mixed clothing, that's a sin. Sex before marriage is a sin. But guarantee everyone that's a Christian or Catholic in this example is just automatically going to be sinning in those areas. But if you're going to follow your faith, like all the people protesting about, oh, gay marriage is a sin.
Wait, what? I knew about the mixed clothing thing, but I felt like that was just a law of the lands rather than a law of the Bible.
I'm assuming back then it was a law of the land, but it's still in, from what I understand, on the Bible today.
Because like this is what I hate about people making those stupid ass arguments, because it's like, here's the sex before marriage thing. That's actually more of I think that was a law of the land, not actually a law of God. Like for a law of God, like the reason why it was more is actually a guideline for God, because this is what I believe. Like, you could do that if you want. Like, that's fine. But just realize, if you do have sex before marriage, the sex after marriage is just not as good.
Well, not even
like,
that
you
good,
just
it's
ruined
just
it for
not-
yourself. Like, because it's supposed to be an intimate thing. It's supposed to be like, it's
Granted, it still can be intimate, but it just
yeah,
the
but
initial...
it's I don't know. It just doesn't feel as good. Like
feel as good if you want to say it that way, but also
like,
from what I'm thinking, back then, it
in
was
like
just
an
the fact
intimate in an intimate sort of way, you know, like, because like you're just doing it to feel good before marriage. Like, it should be like, save all of that for after marriage.
that, again, granted it's supposed to be like that from what religion was when I was growing up, and I was like, okay, sure. But from what I understand, just in almost any kind of relationship, it's supposed to be a sacred thing. It's the bond. And usually what I'm assuming was that sex before marriage was the fact that it's that ultimate thing of bond if you're both still virgins. It's you're accepting it from both sides. I'm giving first and probably not only time, but the first time with anybody in the world that you possibly could have done it before. I'm giving it to you in full,
Yeah.
kind of deal. Which is what I kind of understand more on that aspect. I was like, sex before marriage. From what I understand and what I remember, just again, it's just the initial first time ever bond. Like it's the first person you're doing it with, and if things go correctly and you stay in that marriage still happy 100 years old, it's the only person you'll ever need.
Yeah. So, and about the mixed clothing thing, if that was a law of the land, that land is dead now. I bet. I think.
Yeah, but obviously people
But
aren't
like,
gonna
it's
listen
like
to it because
what I feel like is the thing about that is people take. I hate it when people do this, but they take the words of the Bible out of context, and that's what Satan does. He knows the Bible, and that's what he uses against us.
Someone's hosting my channel. Thanks.
For the host, Alan. But yeah, what people do, what Satan does, they use the Bible out of context, and like they just choose, like they just pick and choose verses. Oh my god! And just as I say that, like as I talk about Satan doing all these bad shit, I'm at like my auto attacks are doing 666 damage on crit.
It's the sign.
It's a sign that we have to shit on Satan. Which is really funny. Like, my religion teacher was like, "Why are we saying God's name in vain as like a curse word? Like, why are we cursing God? Why don't we curse someone like Satan?" And then I was like, "That's a good point." And so he gives us like the allowance to say like, "Yeah, screw Hitler," or like, "Why not? Like, why not? Like hate on like bad people, you know?"
No, that makes sense. If you go into that really quick, from what I understand, if you go to like what maybe like I'll just say like the Salem witch trials, just that far back as an example, is that if you say God damn it, or just say like Jesus Christ in bad terms, it hits more to home because it's the more at that time where it was more offensive. Because thinking, if you say God damn it now, it's just like, okay, just another person being pissed off. But again, Salem witch trials, I don't know why it's in my freaking head right now. Just that far back, like the 1800s or like early 1900s. It's the fact that everyone was still religious, and I can't really say questioned it, but they didn't oppose it as people do now. Which is why when people said God damn it back then, from what I guess, it hits more to home because no one is gonna openly say why are you using that, why are you saying it in that term. I'm losing my train of thought, trying to steer back into it.
This is what happens when this is what happens when we get onto rabbit ramblings. I don't have as many edits as people think. I don't really have.
Something's always hard, no matter what it is. If you're good at talking about it, or just like you're doing many subjects in general, it is all spread out, and you end up going in several different directions. It's basically a giant root. You said it, but then it just goes everywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, what I was trying to say is I don't like people taking the word of the Bible out of context. And what who said that? Varmal said that God on the Old Testament was a jerk. You have to realize he wasn't the first one to throw a punch, you know?
Yeah.
He wasn't the first one to throw a punch. Like, sure, he was mean, but like realize that the humans were mean first, and like think about like the fact that you had that in the beginning you had to create all of these things, and during that time you were also having a war against Lucifer. Do you think are you seriously going to tell me that he's not already stressed out by that? That's why he had the seventh day to rest. Because he had to deal with all this bullshit while he's creating the world.
if you go by that aspect, then you go by, science.
Like literally,
standpoint,
God is probably
evolution,
the
all that
most.
stuff.
God is probably the most human out of everybody here. Let's be honest.
Someone in the chat brought up a good point, Chris Snorlax. It's like when people say God made us in His image. That's a good example, and like
Yeah.
how people can take things out of context. If here's atheist standpoint, if God exists, okay. If He made us in His image, okay. But He can't say like when He says being gay or lesbian is a wrong thing. If He made us in His image, He wants us to be what we want to. He wants to give us the freedom to do what we want. Give us our choices. Granted, some of those choices may be wrong from said fate or just
No,
moral
he
standpoints
made-
and everything
okay, yeah,
else too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact that He made us in His image and to give us the mental capacity to choose what everything that we want to do as living beings.
Yeah, He gave us that choice, but like He did want us to love Him. That was His initial plan. Like that's the whole point. Like that's why He gave us free will. That's why He allowed us to choose what we want to eat and to tend to all of His things on this world, in the garden even. And that's why we were able to eat from the fruit of knowledge. Because the whole point of the fruit of knowledge was to set boundaries. Like, you gave us everything that we wanted, and we can do anything we want, but like there are like He wanted to teach us there are things we can't do, we shouldn't do. And that right there proved to be like that was our Pandora's box. You know?
The fruit of knowledge.
The fruit of
the
knowledge
apple, and
was
snake.
the Pandora's box.
That was the gateway to. Some people I know who, granted, they are religious, but see the scientific standpoint.
So that's what.
in the
Yeah. Go ahead.
apple part. Is just that
Oops.
we took the forbidden knowledge, but it was a gateway to more understanding. Granted, if in religious terms, it was technically a sin, which quote unquote doomed humanity in some aspect. I forget.
It doomed
But-
humanity to make them die, because like with the fruit itself had multiple because here's the thing, God wanted to teach only the goods and like not teach the bads, because God during that time they had established knowledge, but He wanted to teach, so He wanted to teach what was good, all He did was teach was good. He never taught the bad. So when they ate the apple of knowledge, or fruit of knowledge, all they learned was bad, and what was bad.
It wasn't technically all that was bad. It was just more knowledge than they could probably process, mixing it with the good and bad. Because all knowledge is just that.
They knew what was good. They knew only what was good at that time, and the information overload was all negativity and badness, which is why they became ashamed of being naked and such. That's what I took from that story, but whatever, it's interpreted in many different ways at this point. I don't even know.
At this point in time, you can't really pinpoint the true one, because obviously whatever amount of years, eons of stories passed down.
Yeah. Oh, this is my game with Wendy. Wendy's a good support. I digress. This is way off from what I was initially thinking of.
My bad.
It's fine.
Like, when you had this last time, I actually do enjoy these types of streams and conversations with anybody, because I love hearing all the types of standpoints and where everyone stands and where their mindsets are. Because one thing, it's not even a bad thing. You may not agree with it, but the main part is that you can respect it and understand where everyone sits.
Yeah, what Chris Norlock said, God's holy sons and His prophets can teach us all good. But even good can be misinterpreted and turned into bad, which is what Satan does.
It's not even that. Just going off the religious standpoint.
That's how Satan was trying to tempt Jesus to pretty much kill himself. Like,
Do it. No one loves you.
no,
Sorry.
it was more like
Bad jokes.
it was more like
Bad jokes.
if you are the son of God, then why not make this stone into bread? It's like, no, come on, man, it's fine. I don't need to do that. And then he's like, he took him to a cliff, and he's like, go on, jump. If you really are the son of God, then the angels will whisk you away and protect you and save you and stuff. But like in the scripture that he was using was out of context, which was like in something or what. I don't remember the full context. I don't know. I just took this class and I don't have a final on it because my teacher is fucking awesome. But
those teachers are great.
dude, he was awesome. He told like, yeah. But anyways, like Satan will use all of his power to make it seem like you're going to like make it like seem really easy for you to just follow him instead of God. He'll just make himself look like God, and that's not what we want.
Trying to remember something.
Yeah.
that
Chris
brings a point to this.
Snorlax put a really good point. It was a choice. The point was God gave them the choice because he wanted to set boundaries, and this is also like Satan's second chance at seeing that if he can manipulate people, or like if he can like get people to go against God. Like the reason why Satan was even like given the chance to be in his world was because after like the war of God versus Lucifer, oh, I fucked this up, I think.
What, your train of thought?
No, it was the play. Anyways.
Oh.
Yeah, I fucked up that play. Anyways, like, it was to set boundaries, like, and also God wanted to prove that he was fair. That, because, like, because Lucifer, like, subjectively was the best angel, because he wanted to be close to God more than anyone else. But he got jealous. He got jealous of Jesus because he heard that Jesus would be his son and will be as powerful as God. So Satan was like, "Fuck this shit, man!
Fuck!
I'm gonna make my own kingdom." And then so he convinced the other angels, because everyone with God at the time was equal to each other. Not equal to each other, well, like, they had free will, basically.
Yeah. Get in the Pokeball, you fuck. Sorry, playing Sun and Moon. Just trying to catch. Yes!
Who?
Sorry.
Who are you trying to catch?
I don't know, I became the champion. I'm just going through, just trying to level some more Pokemon.
Oh, okay. I thought you were catching Tapu Koko.
I use an Ultra Ball. I actually caught him like in the first attempt, which was really surprising.
I wanted to catch him in a Pokeball because he was a shiny when I saw him.
Oh yeah. I haven't found a single shiny in any of my walkthroughs of Pokemon. Never.
I got. You have no idea how much time I spent trying to get all the shiny starters. Oh my god. And no, I'm not talking about daycare. I'm talking about from the start.
Oh god.
Every single one from the fucking start. Holy shit, that was
that
that
hurts me,
was
just thinking about it.
That was an ordeal.
An ordeal for me was trying to find freaking female Eevees, because I swear to Christ, they freaking don't exist if you don't have a Pokemon that has the cute charm ability. And I'm so happy I found a stupid Igglytuff that had the cute charm ability, because I swear to Christ.
Nice. Yeah, every religion has a different interpretation of the stories.
Not even just said religion, it's every religion in the world. They have the same base of everything. Just things start branching off into a set religion.
Lucifer. Well, here's the thing. Okay, Mr. Markin said like Lucifer was jealous of humans. I don't really think that was the case. I think I heard that he was jealous of Jesus because
He had all the attention.
he
something
had
like
all
that.
the attention. It could have been humans though. Like I do see why he would be jealous of humans, because humans would be put above angels once they're in the kingdom. That's what I heard. But again, I can't remember if that's the case, if either or. Why am I playing like a dumb in this game? Oh yeah, that's right. I'll let everyone else carry me. Regardless.
Carry me, senpai. What was one of the other topics that people put in the Discord chat? Because I was somewhat.
Oh, okay, I have notes. Okay, we're gonna get off this topic because this is too much. Original content versus sequels and reboots. I like this one, but I don't watch movies as much. So thank you for coming on, because this would actually help a lot.
I can bring a good example to that really quick.
Like,
just because.
let's first put some context on this. It's a very interesting topic because I feel like this is an issue with creativity. Like, sequels and reboots aren't bad. Like,
By all means, they're not. They can either be the revival or the downfall of it, but either way, it depends on how it's interpreted.
They
A
can
good
work-
example for
like-
this would be Spider-Man.
Yes, go ahead.
The first one was with Tobey Maguire and all that, and it was good. It was good. Then they stopped that and think, okay, let's try to reboot it with the other guy. I forget his name. But yeah, that ended up doing good. But since, what was it? Marvel got bought by Disney or whatever the hell happened, I forget. They're doing it a third time. And again, we won't know for this Spider-Man coming out. We won't know if it's good or not just from seeing the trailer. It's like, okay, it looks good, but depending on how it's, I can't think of the word. Played out, I guess. Not the word I wanted to use. But depending on how it's played out will determine everything else. But a good thing for this is original content compared to reboots and all that. Good example of that would just be how many times had they remade Spider-Man, how many times had they remade Superman and Batman, and for that fact either. Granted, there's a lot of story and background behind it with all the comics and novels and everything else known from this part of the conversation. But just how many times can you keep going and going and going before it's just overly recycled? That's my for me, a good standpoint from how I had it, just from being. Just hit my fucking microphone.
Nice.
I lost where I was going with this right now. Fuck.
Chris Norlack said a good example of a reboot is white people being upset about the new Ghost in the Shell movie and the main character being played by Scarlett Johansson because she is white.
Okay. That is a perfect example too. Granted, this is the first live adaptation of it, which is honestly for me, it does look good. I don't know how anyone else's preferences is. We can't say anything bad about it until it is actually released. A good thing can be same about the Ghostbusters with the rebooted Ghostbusters. People got so pissed off on the fact that it's all women. There's not a single person from the original cast. Who cares? It's
a good revival. Like, a good movie is a good movie, right?
Exactly. The thing is, too, I remember hearing this on Game Grumps a long time ago when Aaron was getting pissed off about the same goddamn thing. If you don't like it, fine. It's not going to do anything bad about the originals. They're still going to be there, and if it's your favorite movie, like, again, Ghostbusters for this instant, the original two Ghostbusters are still going to be there. The reboot isn't going to affect them in any way. They're already done. They're already made. Nothing can touch them unless your opinion changes on it. That's it. With the reboot, that's just it is. It's a reboot, revival. They're trying to bring a newer generation into it and into a universe and standpoint that's already been established for whatever, how long. Japan is totally fine with her being white. Lol. That's the thing. Scarlett Johansson is a good actress too. That's another thing.
Alright, so to keep on with the general term, because remember, I myself am not, like, the biggest movie watcher known to man. No, I don't want to track the camera. I want to look at myself, and I want to only look at the red team shit. So it's like I don't watch any of the many movies, but I do enjoy them from time to time. What I think about these things is that both mediums can fail royally. Like, they can be both good or bad, like, because they're just movies, right?
Exactly.
But like, the first reason why this topic, do you hate spoilers? I don't care about spoilers. You can tell me all you want. I won't care. Just
As long as
Usually-
that spoilers
usually-
about Star Wars, because I'm a giant Star Wars nut, and I swear to Christ, if someone spoils something with Rogue One, I'm going to stab you with a spoon.
here's the thing. Only spoil. Only ask before spoiling. Ask before spoiling. Or, for me, you don't have to ask, but just don't say it out loud. Don't do it publicly, because like a lot, like people like Leaf, people like fucking, well, normal people do care about spoilers.
If it's something that we're anticipating, and if you already know something about it, just keep it to
Okay,
yourself until a good general.
Here's
thing comes
the
out.
thing. I like Star Wars, but I don't give a fuck.
I'm a giant Star Wars nut. I was born and raised
I'm not.
in it.
I'm not like.
That's
I'm not like
Star
the
Wars,
biggest.
so-
I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan.
But you can appreciate it.
I
That's pretty
appreciate
much.
what it does for this for creation and stuff, like content creation and such. Like what it did to the industry is amazing. I cannot deny what they did.
Oh yeah, George Lucas brought a lot of things on the table when that came out with episode freaking A New Hope. Revolutionized everything. Sorry, go ahead.
The whole reason why this topic came about was that apparently there is a favor for sequels and reboots nowadays. What do you think about that? Like, why do you think that there are more sequels and reboots coming out rather than original content?
It's easier for that to come out because for sequels, it's really easy. There's already an established universe.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already established, so all you gotta do is just build up more on that. It's less time. It's less processing on how to make something new about it. It's less of a factor in like, oh, what are we gonna do with this and that. A good example of how many freaking sequels will probably be Michael-based Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
The Transformers universe is very broad and many different interpretations of it all, and it's a set universe with rich backstory and history. For, I would say, like the first Transformers movie that Michael Bay did, I would say that one was okay, and that's the only good one that I like. After that, with all the other sequels he's done, is just adding more and more characters that were established in said universe, but poor execution, and just the fact that it's just dragging on and everyone's kind of done with it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the thing with any sequels that could drag on. Like, a good example, just Star Wars in this case. How many sequels sequels had they had? Granted, the prequels, episode or Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith weren't that great. It was already an established universe. There was already a set story to be on that, but it still did good enough to be the giant fucking hype train that it is now. Like, sequels won't be bad, it's just execution and how much backstory and detail you can actually put into it and contribute to it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of other examples right now.
we don't have to keep on giving them examples. We have to just give them information. It's like, that's a good example there for sure.
Like, sequels can be necessary on some aspects, but if it ended up on a good note, I would say leave it that way, because I will go to Star Wars again, because one thing is still on my mind, and it's an easy subject for me because I know so much about it because I'm a fucking loser.
Mm-hmm.
With the original Return of the Jedi, when that ended, they did absolutely not have to go anywhere near Episode 7. The Legends content and all that they had was well more than enough to satisfy people like me, because there's just so much history that went through it all, and it's enough for everything got basically addressed. Everything was pointed out. All the main characters were there, and that's it.
Mm.
Everything is just thrown out there, so to speak. And the thing is, you can't complain because it's multiple people, because all the books, comics, and all that, it's just so widespread.
Unstoppable.
It's so much to take in where you can just be involved in it more than you would care to admit, because it's just so much. That's an also good point, Snorlax, is freaking KOTOR. KOTOR was an old Star Wars game from like the original like PlayStation 2 and Xbox, supposed to be predating before anything involving the original movies. It was set like 2 or like 4,000 years before any of the events happened. And that game alone had enough rich backstory and history from like one fucking game to satisfy so many people on concepts and things that were brought up before.
And it wasn't even added?
It wasn't even intentionally added. It was just a game going like, okay, let's add a game and on something that people always heard about and was curious about. Granted, it's a what was it? Mass Effect, good example, was just you get to choose being the good guy or choose being the bad guy. Either way, it's your decision, and no matter what, you're involved in it, and it's even no matter what side, it's just rich backstory on events that everyone's heard about but never actually got a chance to see. Oh yeah, KOTOR's like fucking Skyrim. It's fucking long.
Yeah, nice. Anyways, yeah, so something I think about like sequels and reboots is that they favor familiarity, fangasm, and such like that. Like they favor wanting to create a longer story without having all that stuff. For original content, it requires something new and like an immense amount of creativity, like a very very huge amount. Like,
what's something good for use as original content?
like just say like, oh god, what is? It's because I don't watch any more movies, so I can't think of original content. But I guess one comparison is like YouTube movies, or like YouTube in general. Like say something from like Ryan Higa, or something like that. They made a movie before, like Agents of Secret Stuff, I guess. That's a good one. That's a really good piece of original content.
Undertale, that's a good example of original
Undertale
content.
is a good one. We were talking about movies earlier, but like, oh shit, did I disconnect? Where am I? Oh, there I am. Alright. So,
Minions have spawned.
oh, Planet of the Apes and the Godzilla movies, or like the original Godzilla movie. Like,
Oh, Godzilla.
that's a really good point. Like,
Oh, that's a fangasm for me.
yeah, it took an immense amount of creativity, but like, here's the thing: remember that movies were a medium since forever. Like at this point, now they're thinking of new ways to do things. Like they established it. Like at that time, characters weren't that big of like a thing.
The original monster movies like Frankenstein, Werewolf, and all that, well, it was all pure gold original creations. And no one think, oh yeah, if this does bad, then oh well. And the way it is now, legendary monsters that are embedded in culture around the world because they're just
that's a really good
impact.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, that's just crazy to think. I hated this game because fucking 80 Jarvan. Anyways. My fucking, like, what's his name?
Build
like,
the walls.
My cannon was
original Build the Walls.
bullshit. Like, really bad.
Jarvan, the original building the walls in League of Legends. If you want to have bad jokes like that.
Nice. Anyways,
Imaglio.
yeah, for movies and stuff, it's a lot.
Not
Like-
even movies, just anything in
like-
general when it comes to like TV or gaming
For you,
and stuff.
for
that matter
yeah,
too,
well,
or
yeah,
books.
but like again, but the movies, like, it's so saturated now. Gaming has just become saturated that originality there is even hard too. And YouTube, like, after a set period of time, it becomes unoriginal. Like, it becomes hard to create something original.
Because one thing, the ideas are so hard to think up where you think, can I use it from here or use it from that, where you can't actually think of what's something brand new that no one in the world hasn't seen yet.
Like, for me personally, I think originality doesn't really exist anymore because there's always some sort of source material. You know?
Exactly.
Like, not just because of reboots, but because, like, you know, like, say fucking whatever it's called, fucking Twilight and fucking 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey was a fanfiction of Twilight, and
That's a fan fiction, almost a lot of shit if you think about it.
well, of course, duh.
Oh yeah. Those
In
are
the
good
end,
examples of
yeah,
the
like,
thinking about it.
Then again, it's like they're now original works, but they're fanfiction. So,
Another good original, for if you want to go a little bit back, was Harry Potter.
oh yeah, well,
You
yeah,
can't forget that. Harry Potter, granted the concept of witches and wizards were already out there.
but
No one expected
they
to be
took
this kind of
but they
story
took
for it.
but they took it into a more like almost medieval setting. Like, it was like a twist from, like, it was like, how can I say this? It was a
It was a good mix of actual modern parts of the world and then the stupid phone.
it was a
shut up.
very fuck
hard to put it
contemporary
into words.
contemporary.
There we
It was
go.
a very contemporary medieval time.
Yes.
See,
But again, it had the modern aspects of other things too, and modern
like
parts.
it still had the modern, like, playground, the modern, like, some appliances,
settings and
settings.
everything else like that.
But then when you move over to the medieval setting, that's like, it's still, you still have
Everything
all
is
that
still
shit there.
interpreted. Exactly, it's all there, but it's disguised in a way. It's like, oh, that's so original. But the thing is, it is, but it's also masked.
Hmm.
What's another good thing about originals? I can go back to the old movies like Frankenstein or Godzilla in that matter. Like with Godzilla, no one expected a freaking 60-foot monster lizard that breathes radioactive fire was going to be successful. But then again, look at the beautiful freaking industry that is the kaijuns. The whole thing in general was just yay, and it blew up.
Hmm. Yeah, well, every game has to be like Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is still great no matter what the hell you say, but yeah.
It didn't have to be like it, but it's good. I mean, the thing with Dark Souls is, like, the lore isn't important to the gameplay. But they
The
have the
gameplay is
lore
great,
there.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
But the lore is great. And
Yeah,
confusing.
Lore is fantastic.
It's
The
confusing,
gameplay is
but
great,
it's good.
and it's all inducing and all packed up in the inducing rage fuck that is fucking Dark Souls.
I fucked up here. Glad I dodged that cut.
Dark Souls, so many memories. So much rage in that game, but it's such a great game. What's another thing for original? I can't really say thing about TV. What about anime for that matter?
It's all anime usually comes from mangas nowadays. There's hardly any original works anymore. The only original work I can think of is Angel Beats.
Oh god, the tears. Fuck you, key visuals, and you're amazing.
Yeah,
fucking
I cannot
never
think of
played.
I can't think of anything other than that can actually no, that's more of a sequel. I can't think of anything that's like original works for anime, like from the ground up.
You
Huh?
could say sword art. in a way.
Not really, because that's a novel. It was a novel first, then.
What's an anime?
But like, but yes, like Sword Art as a novel was definitely an original work. That's not gonna change.
That's true.
But like again, for anime, there's always a source. There's almost always a source material, like a manga or something.
Or just something borrowed for the most part.
Yeah, borrowed. Oh, that was just lucky because I had more teammates with me. If it was a 1v1, Driver would kill me. But yeah, most things need a basis now. But regardless of like what kind of medium you're trying to do, there has to be some sort of basis. There's no real originality anymore.
Only borrowed.
Mhm.
Which
Which
is
isn't a bad. It's unfortunate. It's not a bad thing though. Let's keep it real. It's not a bad thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just that it takes an immense amount of creativity to create something new because we've already talked about topics of like otherworldly, like we already know that there's like something called other dimensional stuff, like sci-fi. There's too many genres that are already created. There's no easy way to create a completely new genre. Which that will be where originality will stem if we get a new genre, not a mix, just an absolutely new genre.
Killing spree.
Put it that way, yeah. Hands down, there really isn't.
Yeah. Chris Norlax gave an idea that like who thought Kingdom Hearts, an RPG with Disney characters, would be so successful. Here's the thing. Nobody did. Not even the people that made it. Because here's the thing. Well, actually, kind of. That was kind of. Like, when it came to Kingdom Hearts, the only reason why they even had the thing is because the Disney games, or the Disney studio, and Square Enix.
Related.
Huh?
Just all the Disney characters in general and how much rich characters there were in the entire Disney.
Well, the reason why is
universe.
because they thought, hey, why don't we try making something cool? You
Let's
know?
make Final Fantasy, but with Disney.
No, it was more like there was a Disney representative. It was a chance thing
Yeah, that was one of the biggest chances. But look at that now.
because Disney and Square Enix had like the same building, right?
I don't remember that.
That's what I believe I heard. So like, or no, what? No, sorry, that might have been the Michael Jackson thing. Fuck. I don't remember, but they worked together. I think it was Square Enix and Disney. They use the same studio for like the games. I think I could be wrong, but jeez, I hate the FPS issues with the spec mode or like replays. It's so annoying. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts had a really good run because of that. Like they wanted to have an like established character like Mickey, but then they gave Sora who looked like Mickey kind of.
Or just typical anime-esque RPG kind of thing.
It was a
But this-
JRPG, yeah.
But
But it had action, like it was an action RPG. I really like that. I didn't really understand the gummy stages though, to be honest. They brought it back for Kingdom Hearts 2 and I was like, it was better. But then like, me personally, I wasn't really too into it. I think they're gonna bring it back for Kingdom Hearts 3, right? I heard.
sorry, give me a bit, please. BRB.
Okay. But yeah, that's something that was a thing. Wizard of Oz. That's very true.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed. Team double kill. Unstoppable. Red team double kill.
But the game is old. Yes, it is.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I wanna. The industry wasn't exploited yet. Yeah, like a lot of industries get exploited, like after it gets popular and stuff. But you know.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I'm kind of saying it because I feel like we've kind of, you know, beat this horse to death, so.
So quiet.
Yeah. I'll talk about the, This is more of a thing to go with, like, what Leaf wants to see, because I think I'm kind of done streaming now. It's been like an hour, and I didn't really want to make this like a super duper long video, or not video, a super long stream. I just wanted to have enough to, like, you know, just enough to like have a good time talking. I haven't heard any like new topics. We just wanted to talk about each topic at once. I might leave the League talk for another day and the MMO talk for if I actually play enough MMOs. Because when it comes to like MMOs, the only ones I ever play is like fucking MapleStory, but I haven't played that in forever. BNS, I haven't played that in a long time. And so on. So I don't have too much to say.
Red team double kill. Blue team double
I haven't played BNS in a long time.
Have you played to the 50 level?
No. I've only gotten up to level like 10 and then I stopped because I was tired of it.
Oh, okay.
Also, it was terrible to play on stream because the FPS was like 20. I don't like playing games lower than 30 FPS. And even 30 FPS is hard on my eyes. Because I feel like my reactions are slower.
I've tried recording some Overwatch and my computer is too slow for OBS. Because it's like 10 FPS when...
It's really... Overwatch is not good for streaming. It's hard. You need a really good rig. Otherwise, just stream it from like a PS4 or something. Or like just play PS4. This Vayne should not have taken Thunderlords. Okay, let me talk about the game right now. Here I'm playing with my friend Shiro. Oh, sorry, I dropped my headphones. I'm playing with my friend Shiro, and she's a decent player. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she wants to do. Her mechanics aren't that great, but she can work on them as she goes on. Check out the scriptor dodges on that beam. OP, OP. Anyways, this Vayne took Thunderlords, which is a really weird pick because she loses all that damage after she does her first proc. After the first proc, you don't get any more extra damage, and it's useless to even do it. Of course, you don't need your masteries because Vayne is strong without their masteries, but she's super strong with her masteries. In fact, Fervor is probably one of the strongest you can build on her, other than Warlords. Warlords and Fervor are, in this patch, I believe, are very interchangeable, due to the fact that, just the sheer fact that it's, her Q does all the damage and you'll end up just killing people regardless. So I would say use Warlords because usually fights aren't going to last that long. And look at this ult. This is really sad for this Vayne. I predicted her E and she still failed. If I don't get out of this range, she's gonna kill me and I die.
You are now watching Cream the Rabbit. Enjoy your stay.
Who's following? Starry T, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the auto host as well. So, I could analyze this game, but like I got like 33 kills and it's Nexus Siege. There's not really much I can talk about, you know. Our Heimerdinger comes in at a really weird angle. He shouldn't have come through there. He should have came through the other side of the turret. That was so useless of him. That was really useless of him to do that. But I digress.
A summoner has disconnected.
I don't think I really have that much to say. Let me just give you a quick summary of what I think about League, I guess. Because, right now, they say, are there any original... Do you feel like they're trying to be original or they're trying to be different? It's like, not to the extent that you think that they should. Like, I feel like they should do better. But right now, they're doing a decent job. It's not like it's going to be, like, the biggest change ever. It'll never be the biggest change ever. Like, with Camille, it's just she has a very simple kit, and like, things that she does is very similar to every other champion that you see. Or not every other champion, or past champions. I baited Jarvan there, because he's easy. Anyways. What I'm trying to say is, like, sure, you can, like, Camille can have, like, her E dash to a wall, which, like, it's not like we haven't seen anybody who couldn't dash. That Vayne is so bad. She is so bad. I'm gonna die here anyway, so. The Vayne needs to use her Q more and orb walk more, so. Because, like, my range isn't, I think it's only the same range. So just, like, Q in, auto attack me, and like you can either you have to try and make it so like your E is not predictable like I predicted every single time. Mainly because I know how to play Vayne and play against Vayne, so. I'm gonna die here because the 3v1 is not something Sivir excels at. Vayne excels in that, but not Sivir.
If played well enough, it can be.
No, it cannot. You have to literally have skill shot champions against you, and then it's okay. Otherwise, no, she cannot. Because they literally had point and click items and like, no. Anyways, yeah, about League, Camille is fairly unique, because she like gets a shield based on what kind of champion you are. That's something that's new. It's not too. But yeah, you get like a magic shield, and normal shields aren't new, but the way you get them is very, very new. Like like is it? Wait, what kind of shield does she get? Is it a champion specific shield, or is it
It's just a damage type.
Damage type? Okay, because if it was a champion specific shield, that would be really interesting, very unique. I think they're saving that for a different champion though. But yeah, like, the most unique champion is Ivern because of the dynamic way he jungles. Yeah, he's completely different from every other champion where he doesn't actually kill. He doesn't actually kill jungle camps. He sets them free.
Bloom.
Also,
Sets them free?
he creates bushes. Do you know how many people synergize with that shit? That's crazy. Like, he synergizes with so many champions. Like, it's unreal. Like, Ivern was definitely different. I don't think they're done with creativity. This goes on to the original and sequel thing. Like, they're not done. They're definitely not done. But it has slowed down. Because, like, they not only look for uniqueness in, like, the sense of their skill, but also in their actual character. Rengar mains just. Teemo mains just. Well, Teemo mains. Why the fuck would Ivern help Teemo? They would rather help Rengar. But yeah, he's awesome, and like, he was like bad. I knew he was gonna be bad at the start, but I felt like there's something's gonna happen to him to make him strong, and he became a ban-worthy champion now. So that's, and Camille was just a good champion, I guess. That Vayne is so bad. God, that Vayne is so bad. Yeah, Ivern supports helps a lot. Caitlyn mains Jizz Caitlyn mains came. They can't Jizz, but they came. The Ezreal was actually I think everybody in this game was queued with us. It's just that none of them were at the same level as I was, so I think everybody was like silver or below. My friend Shiro, Kapuku, she places in bronze, but currently her MMR is silver, and she doesn't like being in silver. She'd rather be in bronze because bronze is funny. But yeah, I'd rather be in any other elo than silver. Silver is literally the hardest elo. What? I said that the silver is the hardest elo. It really is. Let's be honest. Cause I got to plat by myself. Like silver 5 is probably the worst out of everything, just because it's the average like the average baseline level of every player. There's no way you can tell me that that silver is easy to get out of, because it's not. It's really hard, because that's where the average players are. And that's where the most shitters are, basically. So you can never tell me that, like, it's hard, or it's easy to get out of silver, because it's not easy. Platinums are the most toxic, yes, I do agree. Platinums are very toxic, but the thing is, Silvers are very have like the best mix of toxicity and bad play. Like, I swear, I've been in so many silver games, and they're just shit. Like, everybody's shit.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
That's a really good point. The point, like, you'd say that it's pretty easy to carry out of, but here's the thing: I'm not shit at the game. I am not shit at the game. I am, as an AD carry main, support main, AD carry support main, I am not shit at the game. And I don't think I ever will be. Ever will be shit at the game. Because it's all about mentality and mechanics. And decision making. And all the things that come with this game. And I know I am very, very decent at each of them. More so for mechanics than anything else. But my mechanics have slowly been becoming really bad, so like, you can argue that I'm becoming worse at the game, but I'm not going to ever be shit at the game. I will, however, have brain farts. And people that don't want to listen to me. And people who are too prideful at the game to listen to me. That's just gonna happen. I don't like League of Legends all that much anymore, but it's still like my favorite game to play from time to time. Honestly, I feel like a hacker should just DDoS it forever, and then I should be like, yeah, let's play a different game, or like play a solo game. Is there voice chat in LoL? No, not right now. I know I'm not shit, but I would say silver is the hardest elo to get out of. Not even bronze, because bronze isn't like an issue. Like, because those who are in bronze 5, they kind of deserve to be in bronze 5 unless they change their fucking mentality. But silver, if you're in silver 5, you're not going to be improving with all those shitters. It's not easy to climb out of silver. Take it from one of my friends who's been in bronze 5 for like 2 years. Until he changed his mentality, then he pretty much forced himself into plat. It's not easy. It takes a whole lot of bullshit to go through, because you have to, because damn it, it always starts out loud, and I don't want it to be loud. When it comes to League, it always starts out like prideful. You get really prideful about the game, like you're right, you're always right, and all that shit. But sometimes you're not always right, and you gotta realize that, and you have to learn. That's what people in silver don't happen to want to do ever. They never want to learn. They don't, like, the people that want to learn, they don't do it because they are too prideful of themselves. They don't study for the test, like, when it comes. Like, it doesn't matter, like, what you think you are supposed to be. You're not getting out of silver because it's the hardest fucking elo. Because of you and everyone around you being just like you. when I rank, as long as I get above silver 5, I'll be fine. If you get like bronze 3 or bronze 1, you should be fine. Or like silver 3, you should be fine. Because silver 5 is like, that's where people have a weird mentality. You just have to not be so prideful about yourself. Play noob champions, play OP champions, play the meta. Like, if you want to climb, play the meta. If you want to learn to have skill, don't play the meta. Like, that's just it. If you want, like, it's so stupid to me to think that, oh my gosh, playing noob champions just to win. It's like, yeah, that's the whole point of playing a video game, like a competitive video game. It's like, oh, it's only normal. It's like, yeah, then why are you complaining that they want to play an OP champion? Because it's always banned in norms and draft. So it's like, no, just stop. It's a really, really, really stupid argument to say, oh, I really hate people who play noob champions. It's like, fuck! They didn't used to be noob champions. Fucking Brand isn't a noob champion. He takes skill, and people are saying, oh, he's a noob champion. It's like, no, he's not. Just stop. You're being ridiculous. And then, like, I know my friend said, it's a self-pride thing. He doesn't need to, he doesn't need a reason to, like, they're noob champions. It's like, no, first off, that's a stupid argument. Like, due to the fact that you want to get better at the game, right? You want to, like, okay. If you want to get better at the game, play the fucking OP noob champions. At least learn what they do and then figure out what to do against them, because they're not as noob OP as you think they are. Katarina has a weakness. She cannot escape easily. She can chase, but she cannot escape as easily as she used to. She has to plan her escape, which is very unlike anything I've ever seen before. So, like, she can get bursted just as well as anyone else. I've played Katarina, I know how she works. She can kill, she can pentakill, she can quadra-kill. But if you're going to say she's a new OP champion with no weaknesses, then you're the noob player with every weakness.
Red team triple kill.
But yeah, I think the whole self-pride thing is just stupid, because, like, if you admit you have self-pride, then get rid of it. Just fucking get rid of it, because you're not going to climb ever. If you don't, you're not going to get any better. Like, literally, that mentality is hella bronze. I don't care. In a game where it's competitive, you don't need self-pride. Because you have a team. There's no need for self-pride. It's unnecessary. This is a really big issue with playing something like this, because you want to be the best player even though it's a team game. You want to be the player that has the most skill in the game. For me, I'm skilled in terms of mechanics, so that's why I play like stupid champs like fucking Vayne, because like they have mechanics that just even like the stupidest player can deal with. But if you asked Gosu, if you asked any Vayne main prior to that, they would see that she is a very highly skilled champion. And I would disagree, even though I'm a Vayne maid, like at this point, because she takes hardly any skill. You just need a Q and a crit, and you'll kill anybody. It's not hard. Like, she's now ban worthy versus so much people. She's one of the top ADCs next to Jhin, because Jhin can just burst people in this meta. But yeah, like, she's one of the top picks. I have to learn every champion, every role, every champion ADC role. Right now I'm going to try and learn Twitch, because Twitch is really good. Vayne is really good. I'm really comfortable with Vayne because I understand orb walking. What people don't understand, you don't like what some people do is that they don't understand orb walking and they don't think that it's necessary. And truthfully, it's not. Kiting is good, orb walking is good, but it's not 100% necessary. Like, you don't have to do the click, 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 click. No, you don't have to keep doing that. You can just stand there if you want. You can still get kills. It's not as important. But that doesn't mean that you can just not. That doesn't mean you don't have to have an idea of it. You do need mechanics at some point, but right now it's not the biggest thing.
If you like the stream, then consider hitting that follow button. It's a $5 value, absolutely free.
Thanks, Lily. I appreciate it. No. All of my gold seals off of cooldown and mastery, and that reduces near tower. And I got first blood because of her being cocky. That's another thing about, like, self-pride. You don't need it here. You need to, like, you need tactics, you need strategy. You need mechanics, you need game knowledge, you need common sense, you need game sense. Like that, for example. Like, I was able to try to Q harass someone, while Vel'Koz Q could have killed me and probably would have killed me, but I knew, in game sense, that I have an E ready, so I don't have to dodge it. And that's the thing. Yeah, there's many mistakes that you have to look at yourself, or you're not gonna improve. Like, you just have to throw away your pride and admit you made a mistake. Which is why I'll never get over fucking that other game where I gambled, like, our bot lane presence. Because there's nothing else I could do. It was the biggest gamble and we fucking failed it. And I don't want to talk about that anymore. Don't want to talk about it. I'll be right back. I need to get some water. Hi, Modded Orange! So yeah, just throw away your pride. You don't need it. It's going to ruin you if you want to get better. You have to know that you will, like, if you are shit at the game and you know you're shit, or you...
Oh, someone's hosting my channel. Thanks.
Thanks for the host. What was I saying? If you know that you want to improve, you have to know that there are players better than you that can coach you and are willing to help, but, like, you have to not make it so you have pride that you don't need, that you can learn yourself. You can learn yourself, but just realize you're going to realize you're bad at this game. Oh no, I'm just trying to prove a point here. Like, if you want to get better at League, then you can do it yourself, or not, or you can get someone's help, or do it yourself, but just realize that you will realize that you're not good at this game. Like, I realized that I'm not good at this game. So, moral of the story is stop being cocky! Oh, well, yeah, that's actually a really important thing. Let me pause this so I can just collect my thoughts without having to listen to, like... I'm gonna take off one of the headphone ears. Just kidding. In real life, people's downfall happens through pride. Through hella huge pride. And that's what was the downfall of my friend. To stay in Bronze 5 forever until he got rid of his pride. He's still very, very prideful, but he got rid of a lot of it when playing League. In real life, you gotta drop your pride sometimes. Sometimes it's not even worth it. It's like, it's not worth, like, losing a friend over or something. It's not worth losing your job over. It's not worth, sometimes, losing your job over. It's not worth your pride to lose your home or whatever over. Of course, there are times, like, I'm not just trying to generalize this because this is, it's, of course I am generalizing, I'm not trying to, but like, I have to because it proves the point, like, you have to not be prideful about things. Being humble, like, understanding your peers around you is a really good thing to do. Connecting with them and such. That's something that pride comes from being, like, secluded in yourself. Yeah, of course Snorlax is saying that's really something, like, it's just not... Stuff like that, this isn't just a League thing, this is a real life thing that has to just be done. And I have a class to go to in about 30 minutes. It's just an interview, a Japanese interview, but I have to do that, and I'll probably fuck it up, but I don't really care because my grades already are alright. I don't really care about getting a B anymore.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm pretty much done. Thank you for all of the hosts. I'm really sorry that like, that I had to go to some really dark places-ish. But yeah, we're kind of done with the stream. Let's see who we can host. Okay. Oh, it looks like I think Wendy's streaming. Probably. She's supposed to be streaming like now. It's Iron Manurimus's birthday. I'm gonna host Chippy. Oh.
God, I fucking hate this mouse, dude.